Okay.
We survived.
All right.
I mean,
we survived.
It's fine.
As for papers leaking, I think it's something that we'll have to. It's unfortunate, but we've gotten to a point where we have to accept that this is the truth. And that's why I'm worried about the position of WAEC.
Yeah.
Because I remember that they were here in the studios a few weeks ago.
After Kofi
and I
Asare and his
queried
team.
them about the leakage of papers.
I
And they
remember.
said there have not been any leakage of papers, even in the 2020 WASSCE, even though they had previously admitted to some of them. Now, yesterday, they held a press conference again, and they said that there are some extracts of some of the papers that have leaked, that have made its way to the public domain, but
They
it
call
is not described as a leakage.
malpractices,
Exactly.
That's what
And
they
I
call
was wondering, at what point are we going to admit that this is the problem?
Yeah.
Why then do you reschedule some papers?
Right.
And, the head in charge of that communication at that point said, well, we only rescheduled it for some reasons. We'll tell you later. But at the moment, we should not describe it as a leakage.
And I will always come back to what Johnny said a few months ago when we were talking about this same matter. So it means that, some of these things that happen in our country are very repetitive.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it a few months ago, and I remember how you described how too many hands are involved with the whole examination process, the printing, the transportation. And so very casually, yesterday, just in front of my gate, a taxi driver was listening to the news. I was just standing in front of my gate.
Right.
He was listening to the news that he had heard. So he came out of his car. You know how they'll come and they'll shine their car small. And then he started. But when he said, Crowe, serious, and then he says, in another country, students actually and some schools can actually sue WAEC for these leakages. Because imagine, I have studied. I am ready for a paper.
And on the morning,
it's not my fault at all that these papers have leaked. It has nothing to do with me. Yes, it's true that it was circulating on some WhatsApp platforms, whatnot. But some people in the hinterland somewhere never even caught wind of it, never even saw anything. And then I'm prepared for the paper. You come to tell me that because there's a leakage, you have cancelled it. Number one, you've wasted my time because I've studied for it. Number two, I don't even know when I'm going to write it, and I have to re-prepare for it. But I had no hand in it. When can you seal all the holes from the top so that it doesn't escalate into these things? Why must we always go through leakages here and there? And you see, EduWatch came out to say, Kofi Asare had posted it on his Facebook page, that he's got information that so and so papers have leaked. A whole press conference was organized.
In fact,
to debunk.
they were sued.
They denied it.
They were sued. They were sued. Africa Education Watch
and
was
then
sued.
at the end of the day, it is actually reality that these papers have leaked. Do you even look good?
See, so yesterday,
do you understand how we look at your outfit?
Yesterday,
you've lost credibility. You've lost everything, and I'll finish in a minute.
Enjoy.
And see, WAEC is WAEC exactly. WAEC is not a small body.
Enjoy.
WAEC is not a small body. Many students apply for courses and to learn outside and all that. These are the results that they take out there. Repetitively, if these papers keep leaking, what do you think we are telling the outside world? Then it will mean that if you're coming from West Africa, if you're coming from Ghana, the results that you are bringing are not credible, so you will not be admitted to so-and-so school or to even pursue the course that you want to pursue. What are we doing to the future of this country? Already, there are too many loopholes and too many gaps in our educational system. Now we are having issues with leakages and everything. So if I'm aspiring to go outside for higher and better education, what are you doing to me at the end of the day?
Okay, so I've been combing through WAEC's 4-pager, what they read to the press yesterday. Now, it says, as a further step to safeguard the integrity of the examination, the council has to put in place the following: strict internal controls and compliance by the staff, security, blah, blah, blah. Increased inspection and monitoring of various centers. Additionally, the following schools, in respect of tip-off, were received, blah, 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 they cheated, they list the schools there. Then, WAEC comes back to talk about withdrawal of some supervisors and vigilators from providing services for the council, and then the scrutiny of scripts of schools, and then continued tracking of rogue websites or social media cartels in collaboration with security agencies. This is what WAEC wrote. WAEC never ever, and has never ever, and I don't think they will ever admit that they have caused the children psychosocial difficulty, and that they would have to provide psychosocial support, like you're mentioning, for the children. That's the job of WAEC. Because you see, when you get a job to supervise examination on behalf of a country that supports your budget, and at the end of the day, these things happen. And this will not be the first time.
Yeah.
But the children have studied. Some may even be perching at some places to be able to go and write the exam. You reschedule it, damn all the consequences that may happen in that direction, and you don't even have the dignity, I should say, to say, oh, we are providing X psychosocial support. All of what you're doing is that we are doing this, we are doing that. That's hammering every problem as if it were a nail. And I found that appalling, because your job is not just to examine, but also to help the children, which is why you would, at the beginning of the exam, you find an invigilator will address the students and tell them, don't do this, don't do that, if you do this. So it's all part of the process to get them in the right frame to sit for the exam. Now, if you have done all of that, and then the things have gone south, I expected that WAEC would give the children some psychosocial support or some assurance to the parents. Nothing of that sort. And it's a 4-pager. And I remember when Kofi Asare put together that document and he made recommendations and said that, look, let's take the human hands out of it. Let's inject technology. Now the education minister is talking about injection of technology. GES is talking. WAEC is talking. They are now singing Kofi Asare's song, which he foresaw many months ago. The gentleman and his team put together a very good document and presented it. Instead, what happened? When he mentioned it again, he was sued. And I'll tell you, about 2 people volunteered to put me on WhatsApp pages where these papers are leaked and sold. The papers start coming out by 11 p.m. in the evening. They are leaked and sold. So he said it would just put me. But of course, I have just one phone number. So I said, look, I can't put because somebody would just, somebody would just pick hatred and say, oh, I saw him on this platform. He's also part of the cartel. Go and arrest him or whatever it is. So I said, look, I don't want to be part of this one. Maybe somebody else. Because we have some of our guys on those pages. And I can tell you that people actually buy the papers. People sell. It's a whole cartel. And why I cannot pretend not to be aware of this? Why I cannot pretend not to be aware? And yesterday, reading the statement that WAEC had written, it gave an impression that, oh, it is not a leakage, it is more practice.
Exactly.
When you set questions many months ago, and then you contract printers and security agencies and invigilators and supervisors, and in the mode of transporting the papers from the print houses or the warehouses or storehouses to the exam points, and there is some leakage, whose job is it? We gave you the job, WAEC. We have given you the job. WAEC, you are serving us. You're not serving yourselves.
Honestly, I think that it's about time that we break that monopoly that WAEC is enjoying.
I believe so.
And these are recommendations that even Africa Education Watch had included in its recommendations that break the monopoly because, again, they're semi-autonomous. And so they are not necessarily answerable to the MOE or GES, which is why I expect that at least the GES or MOE will call them out for not even wanting to admit that there was a leakage. Now, even before they rescheduled this paper, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when they started writing the practicals for home econs, Africa Education Watch had indicated that there was another leakage in the food and nutrition paper. They came out and said it was a lie and that Africa Education Watch was throwing dust in their eyes because they usually give them some of the topics so they can prepare ahead of time. Africa Education Watch came out and insisted that we saw the questions. They came out the dawn of the paper just a few hours before. And we're telling you that there's a leakage. Instead of you to take that position to resolve the issue, you went about and castigated Africa Education Watch. And weeks later, now another set of papers have leaked. And you are still insisting that it was not a leakage.
I think that WAEC's
that they will not necessarily provide psychosocial support if they are refusing to even admit that there was a leakage. And that's where the problem
But you see, that's where the people who are contracting them on our behalf, on behalf of the government of Ghana, must, as you're saying, raise the concerns. Because you see, the psychosocial support for me is very critical. Very critical. I mean, especially knowing full well that in this country, we seldom finish the curriculum or if you like, the syllabus. So the children have to burn extra candle, spend extra nights trying to cram everything into their heads to pass it. I mean, we know what the practicality bit of our education is. So if a child has been able to sit down and has been able to learn, and just a few bad nuts in there. I mean, it's so unfair.
Yeah, very.
And I think that WAEC's posture is more of an antagonistic one.
Yeah.
Against Africa Education Watch and other CSOs in education, the Peter Patiantis and the rest. Because instead of them viewing these CSOs as being part of shaping their policy to improve the quality of service that they provide, for which we pay,
they think they are against
They rather think that, it is we against them. And that's been their posture. When your papers leak and somebody alerts you that your papers in, and unlike Kofi's posture, Kofi has been going to the office of WAEC, irrespective of all the, the stern manner in which the press conferences are held. He still goes to WAEC to tell them. I'm happy that he has petitioned the police CID, and I want to see the CID take a strict action into this one. Whoever is involved must be dealt with and must be punished on the ticket of the WAEC.
You see,
I mean, how do you do that?
They mentioned that it's only one person who had access to the key to the depot where they stored the papers. I mean, you'd expect that by now someone should have been picked up.
Yeah.
Because Africa Education Watch made this complaint to the CID yesterday or so.
Yeah.
And so if we all know that it's just one person who had access to the key to the depot, why is that person not being picked up and questioned? I mean, I don't know if they may have done it because the CID also likes to work
available to other people that we don't
and the whole
even know
transportation.
about.
Now, if you go to Nigeria, they write JAM, they write WASSCE, they write the other things. Again, the issue of monopoly.
There's no monopoly.
So the Nigerians can choose to either write WASSCE or JAM.
But here, it's just one.
Exactly. And WAEC is the only one that organizes the exam. So clearly, even if there's a problem, they will not admit to it because they feel like, after all, the MOE
WAEC is like ECG, is like Ghana Water.
Deal with the devil,
I'm stuck with you.
Yeah.
You know, we were here a few weeks ago talking about this before the exam
So that's what I said. These things that we go through are very repetitive. Always
very repetitive.
happening.
So it's not as if we didn't know that any of these things could happen. And so for the handlers of these examinations, did they not know? Don't they have any experiential knowledge of these things and understand that these are things that are recurring. These are things that keep coming. So how do we solve them year by year? We keep talking about the same thing. Every time there's going to be the WASSCE or the BEC, we will be going through the same conversations. And the two of you have been talking a lot about how by now someone should have been picked up.
Exactly.
Under scrutiny. And it's because they should know that, access to the room obviously will not be. Not everybody in the country will have access to it. So it beats my mind.
It just feels like the only strong room that's really protected with a lot of jealousy in this country is the election strong room. That's the only place that's protected.
Even that
one is questionable.
Even there
is questionable. But at least you can tell that eagle eyes are on there. So to me,
remember that there were some eagle eyes that left because they said they had been sent. So it's not entirely.
And they went to drink tea.
Yes. So it's not entirely.
No, there was no biscuits. There was
no tea. There was no biscuits.
But I think it's serious though. It's serious that with the select few people that have access to that room, that we still can't bring people, to justice. Yeah. And we need to get to the point where the moment something goes wrong, there is that rapid response from the justice system that says that, we are dealing with this person or that person after very quick investigation. This thing is going to drag for months, and we are still not going to be holding anybody responsible.
WAEC.
That's what we're saying.
But you see, because, like Bella mentioned, because of monopoly, I mean, your light goes off, you can call ECG. They can choose to come and fix it now or later. You can't do FOCO. Your pipe goes off. You can decide to go Ghana Water. If you like, go and dig borehole. If you call them and they are touched, they will come. Yeah. If they are not touched, they will not come. There's so many.
Depends on who you get in touch with.
Yes.
The person is not in a good mood.
Somebody can be at the call center. You call the person. He can decide to forward your complaint or not.
Yeah.
You can't do. So that's what monopoly does to us. And that's why we are calling for the monopoly to be broken. Because the services that WAEC is providing to us is not for free. The services that they provide to us, it is not for free.
We pay for it.
We actually also continue to give them governmental support, financial support. So when we get such abysmal service, and they only organize press conferences to literally talk down at us and talk as if it is some father and son situation, it's not good. I'm asking why this morning, what kind of psychosocial support are they going to provide for the young people who, through no fault of theirs,
very innocent,
through no fault of theirs, have had this happen?
Yeah.
Number two, Whoever had the access to the strong room keys and whoever is in the chain of distribution, what's going to happen to them? They have just told that going forward, we will be strict, blah, 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 blah. Number 3, Africa Education Watch has presented to you petitions, okay? Petitions, and told you the detail of what could be done to take the human hands off. You should be telling us what you are doing with it because we are your employers, you are our employees. We are watching you closely. Good morning to you. And maybe just to break, let me say this quick happy birthday to Ponab Hajia Zainabu, Awembe Salifo of the Lands Commission. It's your birthday today, Hajia. Happy birthday to you. Yes.
Thierry, so Milo is making a return?
I think the most difficult job in Ghana, maybe aside the president, is the Black Stars coaching.
I don't know.
And whoever is going to be taking up that job, I pity the person.
I don't know I don't know what you guys think, but I just have a few reservations.
About Milo?
Yes.
I do too.
Okay.
I don't have a few, I have a lot.
Okay, so let me spell them out.
Okay,
but just a reminder
that 67,
your reservations, by now they've already decided.
Exactly.
I know, right? It just doesn't count.
Fine. But then I'll voice exactly. I'll voice it out anyway.
Yeah.
So Milo is actually 67.
Okay.
As compared to the 56-year-old Milo we had 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, physically, football is a physical and mental game. So I'm thinking at 67, he's almost.
So that's your angle.
No, hold on.
Okay.
I'm coming with a number of angles. So no, hold on. No.
In a country where we have a strong appetite for old people taking sensitive positions,
Hold
why should we be worried?
The guy is 3 years shy. The guy is 3 years shy of 70.
I say we have an appetite for old people.
Okay, so maybe
why
that's
are you worried?
So maybe that's why we are going for him now.
Okay.
Coach Milo.
So that's your first reservation.
That's the first one.
Okay.
Coach Milo in his prime.
And I'm saying to you that observation, as we stand right now, as a country, we have a strong appetite for very old people holding sensitive positions. So that one, we have shut it down.
But she said something. It's a physical and mental
game.
So hold on, hold on.
I want to hear the remaining reservations.
Let her land, because I also have a counter to what she has just said.
I'm just saying, I'm just providing information.
No problem at all.
Let her land. She'll land. She's not a place. She'll land. But I'm saying that in a country where we have a strong appetite for old people holding sensitive positions, or old people making it onto a ballot sheet as per the last election. Old people being a very strategic position.
The question I have
this observation there, no, I will not agree with it.
So, Thierry, my question is, physically and mentally, do we think that Coach Milo of 11 years ago will still be able to deliver the way he delivered in 2010? Now, number 2, at the time when Coach Milo inherited the Black Stars, we had the creme de la creme. I'm talking Michael Essien, Muntari, Asamoah, and the whole squad that went to South Africa in 2010. Listen, that squad, if we compare them to those who went to South Africa a few days ago, who were afraid of the stadium.
Excuse me, not all of them.
Some of them. It was just one.
That was one that was afraid. Okay, only one.
Don't generalize.
All right, so only one that was afraid of the stadium. If we even want to play a friendly match between these two teams right now, the 2010 team would drown.
Wow.
Okay, let's not be too sure.
Ambulance.
These are old men now.
No, exactly. No, hold on. Wait.
Sorry.
No, so what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. No, hold on.
Why do you think that's there?
No, you didn't let me land. No, you didn't understand me.
Okay, I think I understand what she's trying to say.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying that 10 years ago, if you compare the people that we had to those we have right now, even if they were supposed to play at the same age then, if they're supposed to, that's what I'm saying. Oh, no, not now. If they were even supposed to play a friendly match now, they would drown these new ones.
Based on their strength then.
Based on their strength then.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think I understand where she's coming from.
Okay.
She first of all is looking at age and all of that. I don't think the age in football coaching
really
actually counts, because I think that the older you get as a coach, the more experience you garner, and the better you get. But this is the point. So specifically to Milovan, he has not coached a team in more than 2 years.
I was coming.
This is a man who was sacked by Thailand. This is a man.
2 months.
This is a man who was
2 months
sacked
into his appointment.
Yes, this is a man who was sacked by Qatar after 6 months.
In charge. No, that one he resigned himself.
I don't care. My point is
2 months.
after Milovan Rajevac left Ghana, his fortunes have never been the same.
Which is why he's coming back.
A lot of people have spoken about when he was here and how he helped the Black Stars. Guys,
he was the one who
maybe we've forgotten. It was a very frustrating one-goal project. And my thing is, are we moving on as a country, or do we just feel that it's okay to go back simply because we lack options? This is Ghana, for Christ's sake.
Wait, he's not been confirmed.
This is a very attractive job.
No. See,
we know where it's going.
Let me tell you, in Ghana, when the Football Association or whichever body says we are giving ourselves 72 hours to select a coach, it means that they are 9 age na bibi so that.
So we are standing on Milo.
Yes. So I'm telling you that whether you like it or yes, Coach Milo has returned.
Now, this is the point I'm trying to make. This is a man who obviously understands tactics. I mean, I can't fault him. But how sure are we that in the last almost 3 years that this man has not managed any professional team, that this man can take the Black Stars to the next level? Remember, we are trying to rebuild this team. So are we going to be relying on this man whose system we wanted to move away from? Remember, one of the reasons we moved away from him after he left and wanted to bring in the kind of coaches we brought is because we wanted a certain brand of football. Now, are we going back to his old brand that is very defensive?
He has learned his lesson.
You see, there is that saying, never go back.
No, Thierry,
we
disagree with you. Who?
Never go back.
Albert Einstein or what? Look,
this is Thierry Einstein. See, Milovan Rajevac is.
But Thierry,
he will come in. No, you see, I'm not saying he will not succeed. He might just be the person to take us to the World Cup.
To the next level, 2 goals.
But is the GFA communicating to us that they are looking for a short-term solution to the problem we have?
Yeah.
Or are we looking for a long-term solution? Because he definitely is not a long-term solution.
No. That's why I disagree with you.
But I see quick fixes. Yeah. When you wanted a quick fix, and you know the profile of players you have, you can't do quick fix with these players. You see, the kind of the profile of the Black Star squad is the kind of profile that you want to build on. Because you've brought in a lot of new players, you've brought in a lot of players that probably don't even understand what it means to play for the national team.
Let's go.
You are trying to get them to understand all these things.
I won't argue with you again.
Easy.
But